Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. Today I am Siti Faranajwa binti Adnan and my partner who is Nur alias Suraya binti Muhammad Suhaimi would like to give a speech about our seminar topic. Before we begin, we would like to extend a very warm welcome to Madam Intan. We also want to thank you for your guide and give you an opportunity to complete this task. Lastly, we hope you will enjoy this video. We choose type of fabric as our topic for today. First of all, I will begin this speech with the history of fabric. So, animal skin and vegetation were modified into covering as protection from cold, heat, and rain. According to approach, especially as human migrate to new region, textile which first originated in the Mid East during the late Stone Age can be dyed or spun fiber product into yarn and then knit, loop, knit, or woven to create fabric. From ancient time to the present, textile production methods have evolved, and the material available have influenced how people create their belongings, dress themselves, and decorate their surroundings. Next, let's take a look on type of fabric that have in our global and choose fabric made from white. There are many different shades of fabric in this global. First type of fabric is silk. Silk is a natural fiber known because of its luster, shine, skin, and durability, and it is the most natural textile in the world. Silk is a natural protein fiber, some form of which can be woven into textile. The protein fiber of silk is composed mainly of fibrin and is produced by churning in silk larvae to form cocoon. Silk is the epitome of luxury due to its high cost to produce, soft feel, and elegant appearance. Here, silk is a popular textile in the fashion design. There are different types of silk fabric, which are mulberry silk, airy silk, tertia silk, spider silk, muga silk, sia silk, and quan silk. Mulberry silk is the highest grade silk, and choose it is the most popular among another silk. Second type of fabric is cotton. Cotton fabric is one of the most widely used fabric types on the planet. This cloth is chemically organic, which means it has no synthetic component in it. Cotton fabric is made from the fiber that wrap the material scent of cotton plant that emerge in a special furfurly structure. This fabric has been admired for its excellent breathability and lightness since the dawn of cotton production. Cotton fabric is light, quite soft, but it possesses properties that make it similar to silk and worn in event of heat radiation. Cotton is more durable than silk, but it is not as sturdy as wool, and it is more prone to peeling, rips, and tears. Cotton is still one of the most popular and regularly produced fabric on the planet. The natural hair of this textile is white or shiny yellowish, and it has a pretty good thin thread. cotton absorbs a lot of water yet stress rapidly, making it a great moisture-wicking fabric. Cotton is a fabric that can be washed on hide, hair, and draped on the body. Cotton fabric, on the other hand, is prone to wicking and striking when laundered unless it has been pre-dried. Next is linen fabric. This fabric is made from the fiber of the flat plant. The fibers are extracted from the plant and stored for long period of time to soften the fiber. It's not elastic, soft, and absorbent when made is ideal for summer clothing. There are several types of liner, which are dermal line, plain woven line, loosely woven line, and sheeting line. Liner is more environmentally friendly, especially when worn organically. Just line is a better choice for long-term sustainability. Next is leather fabric. Leather is a natural made using tanned animal skin. Leather is one of the most versatile type of fabric due to its durability, water resistant, insulative properties, and luxurious softness. Some famous leather are convert, sheepskin, pig, goat skin, and also exotic liner such as net, elegant, and crocodile. Then let's move on. What can we make with choose fabric that have been discussed just now? So seed can be used in different way. Actually, production is the common consumer of seed. Some apparel items that are made of seed are scarves, shirt, blouse, and evening wear. Besides, seed is also a favorite material for lingerie and underwear due to its lightweight attributes. Seed also might be used to make decorative pillow, curtain, or wall hanging. Next, many purchase manufacturers are still using seed to make their product due to this material durable and lightweight application. Cotton is found in approximately 75% of the world product. Cotton is the most frequently used textile fiber in the world, and it may be spun into a variety of various goods. Most t-shirts, for example, include at least some cotton. White true blue jeans are made in threaded of cotton. Backbroad, backmat, and towel are all made from this fabric, as well as bedsheet, blanket, and duvet. Cotton might even be used to manufacture curtain, wall hanging, and another sort of home decor. Cotton is readily used to manufacture warm-wear clothing because it is hard, breathable, and abrasive. Its softness made it a justified choice for formal and professional attire. and its wrapping property made it an excellent fabric for dresses. Cotton is utilized in the product of medical supplier as well as industrial dye and tub. To summarize, cotton can be used to manufacture also every form of consumer or industry textile. Liner has many different uses in the apparel industry. Some examples that are made of line or shirt, pant, dress, skirt, jacket, blazer, underwear. Besides, in the baking industry, line is being used to produce pillowcases and sheets. Meanwhile, in industry application, canvas for painting is made from linen fabric. Leather fabric is available for various products. Firstly, this fabric is usually used to make some apparel such as jacket and coat. Linen also is a popular material for boat and shoes. Second is accessory. Leather is one of the most popular material for purchase and handbag, suitcase, or luggage also frequently feature leather. It is considered traditional to make bed and woolen using Guinea leather. Lastly, homeware. Leather is one of the most common substances used to upholster cars, chair, and even automobile seat. Next, I will pass this speech to Alia, and she will explain about the way to creating the fabric that have been discussed just now and way to make the fabric.
Thank you, Farah. So now I will continue this speech about the ways of cleaning different fabrics. There are various types of fabrics that can be found at a fabric outlet. However, each fabric has different ways of cleaning those fabrics. Firstly is silk fabric. Consumers do not have to dry clean silk fabric but should take care when washing it. Consumer can clean fabric by soaking it in the warm water with a mild soap not more than 5 minutes. Besides, consumers should not wring the fabric dry when removing the water from the fabric. When silk fabric is well cared for, it will stay beautiful for a long time. Next is cotton fabric. Cotton is the world's favorite natural fiber. It's inexpensive, durable, and easy to manufacture. Cotton sheets and shirts are machine washable and dryable and can iron the wrinkles out. Check the label to confirm that it matches the right water temperature to a different color. Usually, white cottons can wash in hot water and warm or cool water is suitable for colors. Cotton will tend to shrink if it overdry. Besides that is linen fabric. Some labels may insist on dry cleaning only. If linen fabric is embroidered or embellished with lace, it should hand wash the item using good quality detergents in cool water. If the linen fabric is washed by using a machine, consumers should always check the care label. Linen should not be crowded in the machine because it will absorb more water than other fibers. Linen is very functional in hot weather. However, the fabrics easily wrinkles. By using a hot iron with a steam setting and turning the fabric inside out to make the fabric look good. Lastly, for leather fabric. Generally, hand washing is the best way to wash the leather fabric. Leather fabric cannot harshly wash because it can make the leather non-durable. Other causes such as chemical damage from oils or compounds in the air, oxidation, chafing, and abrasion also can make the leather more worse. So, as Farah has said before, most of the fabrics have been made from plants, animal skins, and many more. So now I will explain how the process of the fabrics has been done. The first one is the spinning process. Spinning is the process of twisting the textile fibers to convert them into yarn. The first step to start the spinning process is to unravel the compressed staple fibers, which have been sent to the spinning plant using a mixing and blowing machine. This process was done because we want to remove all the things that attach to it, like leaf, seeds, or sand. After that, all of the textile fibers is processed into the sheet shape lab. The sheet shape lab is the process of combing using the carding machine to separate the fibers and remove fine dust and short fibers. Besides that, the long fibers were arranged in parallel and were collected to process it into the string shape or known as carded sliver. The next step in the spinning process is the sliver lap former. The lap former is a required machine for creating a lap in the spinning section. It was used to clench cotton and generate compact laps from the long fibers to fit the comber machine. So the objective of the sliver lap former machine is to produce a narrow lap from several carded slivers. This machine was set to make a lap from 80 to 24 slivers, and it depends on the width and weight per unit length of the lap required. Next, the fourth step of the spinning process is combing. In this step, the carded sliver is combed again to remove the short fibers and dust that could not be removed in the carding process. Fibers are then arranged parallel to obtain a uniform comb sliver. Comb sliver means that the fibers are then put together in a long row. This process is very important in order to produce uniform and high quality yarn. Then, after the combing step, we have to move to the next step in the spinning process, which is drawing. After the combing step was gathered, 6 to 8 slivers were extended 6 to 8 times from their original length using a drawing machine to straighten and remove uneven thickness from the fibers. So this process will change fibers into a string like drawn sliver. Next, the sixth step in the spinning process is roving. The roving process can be stated as an initial step where the twist is inserted for producing yarn. Since the drawn sliver is too thick to produce yarns directly, it was extended again using a roving machine. This step was focusing on decreasing the linear density of sliver from the draw frame by draft. Linear density means the measure of a quantity of any characteristic value per unit of length. So after the reduction of linear density, the sliver was transferred to the roving step where fibers become suitable for the spinning process. Twisting is applied on the fibers to obtain a green yarn in this process. So the last step for this process is a fine spinning process. In this step, the green yarn that we get from the roving process was extended again to obtain the desired thickness and then twisted. As a result, the finished yarn is wrapped on a spindle, or it's called the winding process, which involves rewinding the finished yarn on the spindle into the cheese and cone according to its purpose. This is an example of a cheese spindle, and this is a cone spindle. So the second process of making the fabrics is the weaving process. Weaving is the process of making fabric by interlacing two sets of yarn called warp and weft. A machine designed to accomplish this task is called a loom. So the first step to start the weaving process is warping. Before we can proceed to the first step of the weaving process, we have to prepare the warp and weft yarn to set it into the loom. Then we can move to the first step of the weaving process, which is warping. Warping is defined as the preparation of yarn to weave fabrics. It can be described that cheese or cones are set on a warping machine to roll it parallel on a warp beam. According to dictionary.com, a warp beam is defined as a roller located at the back of the loom where the warp ends are in preparation for weaving. It is necessary to confirm that the warp beam is made from better warp yarn. Therefore, the weaving process will not be prevented. The next step of the weaving process is sizing. Sizing is the process of applying a protective adhesive coating on the surface of the yarn. In this step, a sizing machine is used to size the yarn before using it for the weaving process. So the first thing to start this step is warp beams are attached to a beam basket. Pneumatic warping braids are fitted on the beam stands. It is used to reduce the warp let-off speed by applying a suitable pressure in order to adjust the warp tension. Then the liquid is pumped into the size box and the liquid is applied to the yarn using an application roller. After that, yarns are passed through a series of steam rolls in the drying chamber. Yarn should have good contact with the steam roll surface to produce a good drying result. After drying, the yarn separation rolls separate the warp sheet into individual yarns to give a uniform yarn layout. The third step in the weaving process is drawing in. The drawing in step comes just after the preparation of the weaver's beam, which is obtained from the warping and sizing section. Usually, most people have performed this job manually, but for the large-scale textile industries, they will use automatic drawing in machines. This step consists of two processes called drafting and denting. So this is an example when drafting is performed manually, which consists of two people to do this job. When the drafting of the ends is complete, those ends are passed through the dent of the reed. Besides that, we can define denting as the process of passing the ends through the dents of reed according to the denting order of the fabric to be woven. After that, we can start the weaving process. As I said before, weaving is a method of fabric production by interlacing two set yarns named warp and weft yarn. First of all, we have to set the beams on a looming frame to weave a textile. This step consists of 5 motions, which are shading, picking, beating, let off, and take up. The primary motion in the weaving process is shading, picking, and beating. Shading is a process of separating warp yarn into two layers by raising a heel frame or harness to form an open area between two sets of warps. So as you can see, the harness that goes up and down is called shading. Meanwhile, picking is the process of inserting the weft yarn through the sheet. As you can see, the weft yarn was inserted through the sheet using a shuttle. Then, beating is the process of pushing the newly inserted weft by reed to the already woven fabric at the point of fall of the cloth. It means that when the wave yarn was inserted during the beating process, then the shuttle had to go back to the previous place and the process was repeated. Next, we move to the secondary motion in the loom. So it consists of two motions, which are take up motion and let off motion. Warp let off motion is the delivery of warp yarn at the required speed, and the cloth take up motion is known as the winding of woven cloth at a required speed. So as we can see, these two motions are required to control the speed of the machine. Next process of making the fabrics is dyeing, printing and finishing process. Dyeing and printing is the second last stage of the textile process. For your information, spinning and weaving are such a stage that only focus on the quality of the fabrics, but the dyeing, printing and finishing process was more focused on the colors and appearance of the fabrics. So now, let's take a look at the first step, which is the dyeing process. Dyeing is a process in which color is transferred to a finished textile that is ready to be exported. This process adds permanent and long-lasting color to the textile. So the first step in this process is singeing and desizing. Singeing and desizing are the two steps of pre-treatment respectively. In this step, the loose, hairy, projecting fibers and gummy materials over the fibers are removed. The next step is sourcing. Sourcing is done to remove all the filth over the textile material. After we remove all the filth, we have to move to another step, which is bleaching. The natural color of the raw materials was reduced in this step. The fourth step in this process is mercerizing. Mercerizing is an additional step, and it was done in this process to increase the strength and luster of the material. The last step is the dyeing process. So here the material has dyed the textile into another color. Next, let's take a look at the second step, which is printing. Printing is a technique of complementing patterns as well as designs to fabric. There are several methods of printing, such as block printing, screen printing, digital printing, direct printing, distress printing, heat transfer printing, and so on. So what is the difference between dye and paint? So the difference is when you dye the textile, you actually apply it to the whole fabric equally. But when you paint, dyes are applied on the fabric localized to produce the desired design. So that was the difference between these two processes. Next, let's take a look at the third process, which is finishing. Finishing is a function that improves the appearance and use of fiber when extracted from the knitting machine. It is the final stage of functioning that produces the finished textile that are ready to be supplied. As we can see, several textile processes such as dyeing, printing, and finishing use wet processing techniques. These techniques include the use of aqueous or bath solution for chemicals applied to textile, fixing chemical to fibers, sourcing or washing to remove the loose chemical, and drying to generate a finished product. Then a fabric is formed and ready for sale. I think that's all from us. Thank you for watching.